Warning, this podcast contains spoilers for everything, season 5 included. What's up, everyone, and welcome to the ASOTV podcast for Once Upon a Time Rewind, Season 1, Episodes 2 and 3, The Thing You Love Most, and
Snowballs!
No, Snowfalls.
Snowballs! Hashtag snowballs.
No. I'm your host, Dom. With me is Nikki, Rachel, and Clio.
Hi!
How's it going?
I'm right, Dom's wrong. It's called snowballs.
Okay.
Sure. We'll go with the snowballs.
Huh.
Sure.
Yeah. So the first episode we will be discussing is episode 2, which opened up with the title card of the horse riding through. And
was it a unicorn?
It was not. It was a horse. It was Regina's horse.
Horse of
That we didn't even see this episode.
Correct.
Just talked about its heart.
Correct.
It's like, alright, okay.
Yeah, it was the prize steed. So this episode, unlike, last one that was focused on the heroes, this one was focused on the villain. And I remember when I first watched this episode way back, this is the episode that, drew me in more than the pilot did, because it's like, oh, this is the villain story. This is kind of interesting. We don't ever get to see that. And it was, I don't know, I loved it. We got, the origin of the Dark Curse here, where the whole, it's like, oh, well, I gave it to Maleficent, and Maleficent got it from
the sleeping curse.
Yeah, Maleficent got it from Regina. Regina ended up originally getting it from Rumpelstiltskin, and it was like, all this stuff. It was crazy. So, leading in from the last episode that we just watched the pilot again, it's like, yep, that's still all Rumpel's doing all along.
Yep.
So.
I wrote myself sticky notes because I forgot to mention something last week.
Oh.
How stupid David looks throwing a sword across a ballroom.
Okay.
Like he thought that was gonna do a damn thing. Also, he had to go, hey!
Yeah.
Before he threw it. And
I
it's
know,
like,
right?
That defeats the point of surprising her,
Well,
getting her in the back.
Well, that's the thing, is they're heroes. I
I
think the whole point is they don't want to stab someone in the back because
yeah,
they
but
are
it was
heroes.
really stupid.
It was
agree.
very stupid.
He should have threw it, then yelled "Hey!" a second before she turned around. It would have been great. But yeah, no. But we see this again, and I definitely missed this the first time that I watched through, the very, very first time when Rumpel's making a deal with Regina. I caught this part where Rumpel makes a deal with Regina, and he goes, "Anytime that I say please, you have to,
do what he says, as long as he says please."
Yeah. And then you get that very last scene, toward the end when he's walking away this episode, and, he says, "Get out of my way, please." And he emphasizes it. I remember the very, very first time, didn't catch that.
I always thought that he knew who he was.
Yeah, that was the thing, is going through, it's always like, okay, Rumpel knows, but he's like, does he know? Doesn't he know? We know now he did know the whole time, but watching it for the first time, this was the first, yes, he 100% knows clue, and I overlooked it so many times. Because this is, my third time watching this episode now, so. But yeah. I mean, did any of you guys catch that the first time?
Yeah.
No,
watching it?
I honestly didn't even.
I did
this time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I catch those kind of things. But no, I had a feeling as soon as when I first watched it, I think I was by myself I think I recorded it, so,
Yeah.
It was in the wee hours of the morning, so you kind of pay attention to stuff.
Yeah, see,
a little more.
Rachel's like, oh, no, I could pay attention to that. Me, on the other hand, coming from Lost, I'm paying attention to all the other things that are going on, which I mentioned. I'm going to try to point out the Lost stuff. There wasn't a lot in this episode. This episode was specifically...
By doing that, you miss out on a lot of other things.
Kind of, yeah. But this episode specifically was only the clock. It was obviously the 8:15 to 8:16, right, which 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42 were numbers, like I mentioned last week. But this episode, when Regina looks at the clock is set to 8:23, which is still one of the lost numbers, 23. So it's like, I mentioned, every time a number is mentioned in this series, it's always lost. Always. It's just
a lost number.
Yeah, it's
lost
insane.
On me.
Yeah, even jumping ahead, which I don't really want to do, but I just want to get all the lost stuff out of the way. Jumping ahead to next episode 3, when we're talking about it, and Dr. Whale's on the date with Mary Margaret. He says, "Oh, what do you want? 15 kids, or whatever." It's that number is still a lost number. So it's just like I said, anytime a number is mentioned, it's probably from Lost. So just keep that in mind.
Or it could just be a number.
No.
Yeah.
No,
It doesn't mean it has to.
if you've ever watched Lost,
Nikki?
if you've ever watched Lost, nothing is
it's
done.
lost on him.
Or lost.
No, nothing with these guys are done by accident. It is all 100% intentional.
Yes, they did it intentional, but guess what? It's a number.
Right, it's the numbers. There's been stuff you go back and watch, and the writers have actually talked about it. No, the writers have actually talked about it, that anytime they put numbers into the show, it's specifically from Lost. Because they're all the writers. They did it intentionally. It's a nod to the fans of Lost. And then we had a lot of Regina this episode. And this episode really got me excited for Regina's evil doppelganger in coming up in episode or season 6 now, because it's like, this is the Regina that I fell in love with. Yes, I like the progression of Regina's character, and I like the point she's gotten at now, but evil, manipulative bitch Regina is my all-time favorite version of Regina. So yeah, you guys are really quiet.
Yeah.
I think you guys are just stunned with the fact that Alex in chat is saying, no, it's all from Lost. He's right. You guys just don't want to admit that I'm right about something.
No, listen, I know that they're doing it on purpose, but the fact remains they're still numbers.
Right.
Yes, they're doing it on purpose, but they are still numbers.
Right.
And as far as Regina goes, I don't know. They've just... I'm not happy with what they did at the end of season 5, so... Yes, I know, it's nice seeing the evil queen, but it's just sort of like, well, we're gonna see her a lot more now. So...
Yeah.
Just gonna throw myself out a window. See you later.
Really?
I think you know what? You said that when we did the finale, too. You did.
Okay, I'm pretty sure after, like, every season finale that there was this season, I've said I'm going to throw myself out a window. I'm still saying it at work to this day. I'm like, I'm going to throw myself out a window.
Can I ask, is the window you're throwing yourself out of at least on ground floor?
Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Depends on what floor I'm on.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. You're still throwing yourself out a window. It's going to hurt.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's in the basement.
I also, in my head, or under my breath, threaten to throw customers out windows.
Oh.
The windows might be on the
used to do
ground
that all
floor,
the time in
still,
retail.
sentiment remains.
Yeah.
Speaking of evil queens.
But I don't know, it's just like, I miss how much Regina used to be obsessed with apples and everything, like, it's just the way she was talking about her apple tree as she grew up from a kid.
Where'd
Oh
you
my
get
God.
that? My mom? Your mom? Oh, don't eat that.
Yeah, that was hilarious, but I do not remember Emma savagely, like, chopping down half
I
of her
do.
tree.
I loved that
I
episode.
do not remember that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't- I just remember, and then it happened, and I was like, yep, Emma was badass. What the fuck happened?
She
Yeah.
believed.
Angry.
So
that-
just for the record right now, as far as season 2 goes, you're still an Emma fan, correct?
Season
you mean
1.
season 1?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm still on the Emma bandwagon.
He's gonna tell you when.
Oh, I know. I'm
I'll
just
tell you when.
I'm just clarifying for everybody else. I know where she stands, but yeah. And then this episode we were introduced to Maleficent, which was about 4 seasons early because we didn't get Maleficent till season 4. her big return. I mean, we had her. I think she comes up again toward the end of the season. If not, maybe it's season 2. I don't remember now. Like in human form. In human form, we get a flashback. I think there's one more that involves. I think it was season 2 actually. It involves Gold asking David to hide a potion. No, maybe. No, that's Gold asking Charming.
I can't remember if we see her or if we heard her voice. That was Once Upon a Time in Wonderland. We see her with Robin Hood and the Knave.
That was season 3.
Yeah.
No, but I know she comes up in human form once again, and it's David, and he fights her in dragon form. But she's in human form first, and he's got to throw the potion into her mouth. So that might have been this season. I don't remember.
I think it is.
Yeah, well,
because I think that happens like right after Emma starts believing.
When Gold's looking for magic, I think it is.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So that'll come up again, but it was cool to see Maleficent so early. Sure, her costume style, everything changed so drastically when she came on in season 4.
We also got a glimpse that Maleficent obviously has a heart. She does love things. That her pony,
her donkey unicorn thing.
Unicorn.
Her mini unicorn.
Her mini corn.
It wasn't a donkey. It was like a mini horse. So
it was a mini horse,
like that thing from the commercial.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like the pygmy horse.
Yeah.
That can fit through a doggy door.
So Maleficent, even though she's badass and she's pretty evil, she has the capacity to love.
Right.
And she always has.
Have you ever
because that's all she wanted.
Yeah.
Can't you just have a pet?
Well, I mean, yes, I know Henry is her son, but like, I think that's where they were trying to draw the connection was Maleficent. Yes, she's evil and stuff. She has a pet. She has the capacity to love. That's why she has the little unicorn.
Well, but I don't think it's just that she's got the capacity to love. I think that she hasn't let it go.
Yeah,
she knows.
Where Regina has clearly shoved it way deep down. Because Regina still has it, she just shoved it way deep down. Mm-hmm. And Maleficent has never let it go.
No.
So I think that's the distinction.
Maleficent has always strived for it, always lived for it, and Regina just pretty much said, it's all gone, there's no hope for me to ever find it. I'm going to stop trying.
Mm-hmm.
So, Maleficent's the other way. She's completely opposite. Obviously, we saw that with her and her daughter, so.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and it's like, you're my only friend, Maleficent. Well, why would I do anything to hurt you? And I feel like we didn't get enough of that in the future in season 4. We didn't get enough of Regina and Maleficent being friends.
Because Regina fucking stuck her down there in the pit underneath the library.
But they had the opportunity for flashbacks and stuff when they have the actress there and she's on the season. Like they had the opportunity to go back and do a lot of flashbacks to fill in those gaps, and they never really did.
No, because the story wasn't about her and Maleficent, Regina and Maleficent that season. It was about Emma and Lily and, the redemption of these villains instead of focusing on what happened in the past. It was focusing on what's going to happen to them at that point.
I would love to see the backstory between Maleficent and Regina. Maybe we'll get that at some point, and then we'll get a Maleficent more eccentric, episode, which is nice. Which would be really nice. So I would like to figure out how those two became friends, because that would be probably a pretty interesting story.
Alex in chat is saying, I love Maleficent. My prediction was that her unicorn was Lily, that they could have tied Lily as the unicorn to hide her from Regina.
No.
I would say yes, except for the fact that we saw Snow and Charming throw the egg through the portal before she even hatched.
And Lily had, past in history with Emma when they were teenagers, so she was already in a different world. So Regina had no idea.
It would be interesting if they did that somehow, but unfortunately, with the way the story's already told, it's not going to be possible.
And at that time,
cool idea.
And at that time when Regina got the spell from her, I don't think Snow had the baby yet.
No, this was way before.
So that couldn't have been Lily.
Because it was
well, the baby was born literally as the curse was rolling up on the castle. So
yeah, so it was almost 8 months after, because it just seemed like Regina was at the ceremony, all that shit went down at the wedding, and she poofed away and she started gathering stuff for her
dark curse.
Her dark curse.
So 9 months later, after when the baby was born, then she
Yes.
enacted the curse.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there was a time thing there. They just weren't really clear on telling you. You kind of had to figure it out yourself.
Because Lily wasn't even born. I don't even think Lily was even an afterthought at that point, or even a twinkle in her eye, for that matter.
Well, Lily and Emma are
her dragon eye.
The same age.
And we don't know when Regina went and got the.
They're about the same age. They don't have to be identical.
Yeah,
no, we know that.
But I don't think
Lily may not have hatched the moment she went through the portal either.
No. Probably that, because when she went through the portal, Snow was still pregnant.
Yeah. They stole Maleficent's egg when Snow was still pregnant.
Yeah. So it could be within a year.
And we don't know. I mean, we don't know when she took the scroll from Maleficent. So.
Yep.
We don't know. It could have been right. It could have been that night. That Maleficent turned into a dragon and did dragon things.
Yeah. If not, I'd say it's at least within a year, 2 at the most. So. Yeah. They're definitely not more than that. I'd say it's pushing it if they're more than a year apart. But.
Yeah, I don't think they're far apart. No.
Yeah. We were also introduced to Henry Mills Sr. for the first time, as that character, as well as Sydney.
Yeah.
I mean, did she call him Dad or Henry or anything?
She did.
Yeah.
She didn't call him Henry. She I knew it was her father, but
she called him Dad. But then you see the headstone.
Yeah, then you see Henry. But yeah, when I first saw it, I was like, "Oh, that's her. That's her dad." I mean, at very first I thought her butler, but then she was too casual with him. She was too emotional with him. She was too human with him. And I was like, no, that has to be her father.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because you're not like that to your servants. She was really evil to her servants. So, yeah.
He was dressed up as a servant. That's what, kind of threw a lot of people off, I'm sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But did you notice that when she took his heart out, he died?
Well, she had to take his heart. He's been dead for a while.
She didn't take it as the glowing heart.
No,
yeah,
she just
that's what I'm
the
saying.
Actual heart. Yeah,
it's really weird.
Because to preserve the heart, to use it to control, it's like magic. She would take that out of magic. She didn't take this one out of magic. She literally just ripped the heart out. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a magical
but she still went through the chest, so I was just like, maybe what does she have to make? Okay.
Well, it's not like you can go through the butt or anything. So
no, but I'm just saying. You
could.
It's the same. It's the same thing she's done. She's the same thing she's done to other people, is taken their hearts and then crushed them. But then this one time she took someone's heart and that didn't happen. So it seems kind of weird to me.
Clio, would you steal someone's heart out of through their chest or through their butt?
Chest is. If we're talking about distance, chest is closer.
Yeah.
I think going in through the butt is a little roundabout.
Literally a roundabout.
Get right in there. A lot easier.
Well, I mean,
it just seems a little odd that she's done.
To be fair, this is the first time we've seen Regina without a heart, and we knew going into it she needed an actual heart for an ingredient for this curse. So everything after this, all the heart stealing with magic and stuff, that's an afterthought. Like, we didn't know about that at this point.
Yeah.
So,
but now that looking back, you're like,
wait. It's definitely noticeable.
I mean, it's understandable at first, but now looking back, you're like, well, what's the difference? I mean, she grabs the heart of everyone else and squeezes them, they're dead. Their heart's out of their chest.
Well, I mean, you can't use the ashes for the ingredient.
I know that, but I'm just saying, now that we know, it's like, well, this one time she didn't do that, so did she get the powers afterwards, or did she get the powers?
No,
she always had them.
She had them because remember in the future we learned that previously Rumpel had taught her, how to pull the hearts out, and that was
and she
the thing.
took the huntsman's heart, and so I'm just I'm now looking back, just wondering why they did it that way, but hey.
I don't think the heart could have been used in the spell as the magic heart, is the point.
No.
I think it could have only been used as an actual heart.
Yeah.
So.
I think either way it's an actual heart, but...
Well, no, because it's like crystallized.
Removed with magic versus removed physically.
Yeah.
Like when they magically stick their hand in the chest, they're removing it magically. Which
kind of
leads you to walk and talk and...
It becomes something else.
So she can do both.
It doesn't even look like a heart.
She can do both.
So she can, like, change... How would she change that? I don't know.
She would physically punch through their chest and remove their heart physically as opposed to using magic.
Yeah, and like the crystal heart, it's like their embodiment of their soul, like, you know, that it's their mind and soul. It's not an actual physical entity. It's just the symbolism is a heart. That's how her magic works. That's how that spell works.
Well, I think it's both.
She Mortal Kombat's.
Yes, that's exactly
their heart out of their chest.
Yeah. No, I think it's
fatality.
Magically, it's taking the soul and the heart, I think, and like fusing it into, like, because we see that's how Snow ends up later on in season 4. Season 3? Oz. Season 4, I think it is. No, season 3? I'm so confused. When was Oz? Season 3? Second half of season 3? Yeah. Oz was the second half of season 3. When she splits her heart, she does that through the magical crystal, and she splits it with David, and that's how they get the two halves. So it's still her heart. So it's both a physical embodiment of the heart and the soul, I think, combined magically. Mm-hmm. So, and this is the first episode that we get Operation Cobra.
Mm-hmm. Which is adorable.
He's so secretive about it. Remember Operation Cobra?
I just want to point out, and it's not that it's a continuity error or anything, because we were talking a lot about continuity errors. I took a screenshot from the episode. Something just interesting. They probably never would have thought of anything like that I happened to notice. In this picture right here that we have with Emma, in the background, you see the library without the actual clock tower on it. And that's because in the town that they film in Canada,
it doesn't have one.
There is no clock tower. It's added digitally in post. So just showing, I thought it was interesting to see on the actual show what the library looks like without the clock tower on it. I thought it was kind of cool. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would never notice that, because at that point I'm just trying to focus on Operation Cobra, not what's reflecting in the window.
Exactly.
Emma had such good hair.
Had, and then she became the Dark Soul, and then became a crusty freaking mess.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Look, she actually looked like she spent time on it.
Did it? Yeah, kind of did.
She curled it and everything.
You mean the makeup artist?
Yeah.
The hairstylist.
Did they change the stylist from down to...
No, they just usually switch it up. A lot of people's characters' hairs change season to season, not just on the show, but everything.
I mean, look at Regina. She's short hair. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I know. But her hair still looks amazing still.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Maybe she just bleached it one too many times.
Yeah, and then I forgot, like, this episode, how much Dr. Hopper was, like, manipulated by Regina and, like, had to do everything.
How everybody was manipulated by Regina? Like,
this
a little bit
episode also gave me that whole, like, last episode where I was like, what about the kids in the school? Who are they? Well, who are all these nurses in this place? And we still don't know who Nurse Ratched is downstairs.
We don't. That's true.
That's true. There's a couple characters like that have like counterparts that you wouldn't realize, like the blind witch that was in this episode, not the Hansel and Gretel blind witch, but the one from this episode that had her eyes sewn shut. She's actually a lady in town. She was walking around I don't think it's this episode.
Can she see?
Yeah, she can. She doesn't like. She has full eyes. She looks like a normal person, and you wouldn't even be able to tell. But it's the same actress, and people only found that out because the same actress plays both characters. Mm-hmm. So like even characters like that have a counterpart, and like the lawn gnome You know,
the lawn gnome, that was hilarious.
That was. I remember watching that. I was like, oh, that's like going back now. I was like, that was like one of my favorite things from this episode. It's just like the way that they were literally tying everything from, you know, back and forth, and I love the detail and the attention to that. And I feel like somewhere along the way, Once Upon a Time has lost their attention to detail.
I think they've gotten so big and so, not big, but, you know, we want to do bigger, better things, but sometimes some things have to go for the wayside if they want to make them bigger and better.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm talking about? Like, some things suffer because they want to reach more audience, like with the Frozen stuff, even though some of that stuff was amazingly detailed.
Yeah.
But, you know, you don't know. I mean, now they're in the real world. They're not all these fancy garments anymore, which I really miss. Yep. I miss the outfits.
Yeah, and then Mary Margaret had mentioned, there was a comment, how she said, well, I'm a teacher, not a nun. Mm-hmm. And little side note for people is, in the original script for Once Upon a Time, Mary Margaret was going to be a nun. She was written as a nun, not a teacher.
I mean, Mary Margaret does kind of sound like a nun name to me.
Right, Sister Mary Margaret, you know?
Yes. Oh my God, yeah.
So, yeah, the original script, that's what she was. So, people that were in the know is probably like an inside joke to the cast and everything when they made, you know, they wrote that thing in there. But that's what I mean by like the attention to detail is once you find that information out, you're like, oh my God, look how layered all of this stuff was. Like, a line like that in passing means absolutely nothing for a casual viewer watching the show. But it's got deeper meaning for people in the know, and like that holds true with all the Lost references, like I mentioned. And it's like I feel like they've lost sight of that now going in, and it's just they're too occupied with telling the bigger, more popular kind of stories than focusing and sitting there and honing the episodes and paying attention to detail like they did here in the first season, where they have to impress people to get this show to stick.
It's true, because, you know, not everyone like us sits there and analyzes the show, analyzes the details. They just want the big, shiny, you know, fantastic, you know, sparkles and fireworks. They just want to see the effects. They don't want to see, you know, the lawn gnome in the background that happened to tie into in the Enchanted Forest. People don't notice those things. Like I said, I didn't notice that there was no clock tower on the reflection in the window.
Well, I don't expect normal people to notice that.
No, but that's why, you know, they've probably gone away from that, is because a lot of the viewers just want the Big Bang.
Yeah. I think this next season they might go back to the roots a little bit, since they're kind of finished with this and they're going back to the Evil Queen type thing, and everything's going to be taking place in Storybrooke. I have a feeling that they might go back to that ground roots, and hopefully, I'm hoping, crossing my fingers, but I'm hoping they do.
They will.
See, and I think part of it too, and Clio might be able to agree with me on this, is that coming off of Lost, all the writers and everything, Lost was a very different beast from anything that's ever been on TV, you know, before. And it was one of those shows where people scoured the episodes and watched every episode 4, 5, 6 times in a row to pick up every little detail of the show. And I think the writers coming off that show tried to recreate that with this show, and it shows so much in the beginning with the detail here. But as the show morphed on and it's moved away from that a bit, it's because it didn't capture the same kind of magic that Lost had in that regard of people doing that. It wasn't as a huge phenomenon as that show was at the time. So
it was too different.
I feel like that's why they kind of moved away from that, because they probably spent too much time focusing on detail when they could have been working on some other stuff.
Like there are two different kind of clientele.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think the people that watch Lost wouldn't watch Once Upon a Time, but a majority of them would.
That's not what I'm saying. I just feel like it's a different audience, but it's like a more casual watch show than it is analytic show.
Yeah, I mean, I think the people watching it aren't looking for that,
right.
And so putting it in is kind of pointless.
Yeah.
Because if people aren't looking for it, then there's no point.
Yeah.
I don't
then it loses that.
What was that?
Even if someone's not looking for it, as a creator, if you put something in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There was just so much in the first season versus like now.
I'm finding so much just in the first 3 episodes that we watched here, just like looking back at like little tiny detail tidbits like this, stuff that I haven't noticed in, I can't remember how many episodes, of once that I'm like, oh my god, did you see that little minor thing in the background that like means some huge thing? I don't know. It just feels like they shifted gears into a different direction. Not necessarily a bad thing.
I think they might
just different.
Realized maybe their audience is a little different, and people coming into this are more family oriented. It's a little more family oriented than Lost, so the kids wouldn't get it.
Of course.
Yeah, and and usually there's not a whole lot of women I know that watched Lost and actually got into it, so this was more geared towards that. So you got women and children watching this, and their husbands could be sitting there going, "Oh, that's from Lost. Oh, that's that," and they're just like, oh, "Okay."
Yeah. I'm telling you
Whatever.
right now.
Shh! I'm trying to watch the show.
The 2 things that pulled me into watching this show originally was they were broadcasting it as, the creators, writers of Lost, and it's just like, okay, well, you kind of have my attention now. And then when Robert Carlyle was announced as Rumpelstiltskin, I'm sold. That's it. I don't care whatever else is on this show. It doesn't matter to me. I'm watching it. So that's why I'm here. But yeah, and then we had a little of the character building with Mary Margaret and bailing Emma out of jail and all that stuff because Emma's going nuts and chopping down apple trees and stuff. Well, she did that right after she got out of jail, which is completely ridiculous. But still,
no, I knowing what she's come out of, like straight from being a bail bondsman, there's like no other bullshit going on, and she knows that Regina thrives. She can just tell that Regina thrives on this kind of back and forth, and it's entertaining for both of them. That's why it goes on so long.
I think that's why Regina is doing it, because she hasn't had that in 29 years or whatever it is.
Nobody freaking stands up to her in this town, and then Emma comes strolling in, and she's just like, "Oh, this is going to be fun."
Yeah, and I think that's that whole episode where Regina every day's the same. I think it kind of shows that how bored Regina was, because she got everything she wanted, but when she got it wasn't what she wanted.
And then, she got Henry, and, that wasn't working out for her. So she was just, she was looking for something to do to, quench her thirst, because, she's trying so hard to earn Henry's affections, and she just keeps pushing him away. So she's frustrated. Oh, yeah. And so, and Emma, she's frustrated too.
Emma's beyond frustrated. She's boiling. She is vindictive.
She cut down half a tree.
She's like, I'm going to come back for the rest of the tree if you pull any more shit.
And I know Emma was trying, to get on Henry's good side by saying, kind of that she believes. It's like, we all know you don't believe. Quit lying to the poor kid.
She didn't say that she believed.
She was implying to him.
She was saying, it's crazy to believe in this, but because you believe it, I'm going to go along with you, and I'm going to help you. Because she didn't say that she believed straight to his face. She just kind of was like, okay, I'm going to help you. She was
hinting around, kind of, making him think that she believes when she really doesn't. And I'm just like, that's just horrible.
I mean,
I get what she's doing, but to me, that's just horrible.
Because he's so young, yes, that's what he's gonna think. Oh, she believes, but she didn't tell him she believed. She was just saying the idea of it is crazy, and I'm just gonna help you. I'm not saying that I believe in this. I'm just gonna help you.
And if John watched this show, he would just be raging about
Dr. Hopper.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
because
boy.
I'm sorry. If he's a therapist who believes that this kid is, that this is a fantasy, you don't want to encourage that. Mm-hmm. You want there to be some grounding in reality, and if you believe that he's just making this up, then you don't want to encourage it, because that just makes it worse. Right. So if you're coming as an adult trying to help a kid. It's no. I'm watching this and I'm like, yeah, John would throw something at the TV.
He would.
But didn't you guys think about it? He's a stupid cricket. What does he know? I don't think he's got his PhD in anything.
Cleo, can you do an experiment for us?
Make John watch that episode.
Can you not tell John about our experiment and just sit down and watch the first 2 episodes with him?
I don't know if he'd care. I doubt I could get him invested even for an hour.
It's not even like to be invested, just to watch that scene where, But
you kind of have to set the rest up. It's only 2 episodes. That's what I'm saying. You can't give him a scene out of context and be like, "Yep," but
yeah, he needs a little bit of like a preface to like Hopper and Henry's relationship. But like, I do agree. Like, he's supposed to be the person who's supposed to fix this child, and fix is the wrong term, but I mean, help him. Mm-hmm. And then Emma comes in. He's like, "You're not supposed to be here." She's like, "Just a second, I need to talk to him." And she's encouraging the thing that is supposed to be wrong with him. And Hopper's just sitting there going, "Yeah, that's okay."
Well, he's all under.
See, I thought Clio was
gonna. If you're in a mental institution and there's a man who thinks that he is Napoleon Bonaparte, you don't say, "Oh, hello, Napoleon." No, you don't. You don't do that. You call him Frank. You're like, "No, Frank, you're not Napoleon." You can
call him any other name, just not Napoleon.
See, and I thought Clio was about to start griping on the fact that he handed over his files and everything. I'm like, but Vegeta's kind of got him in his pocket. That's what I'm thinking. She went a completely different direction.
Oh yeah, no. I knew why that happened.
Yeah.
How much help can he really be when he's, in Regina's pocket?
Yeah.
Yeah. Chat is going in chat there. Chat is going in chat. Chat is going nuts in chat over Dr. Hopper. They're all, "Sally, I miss Dr. Hopper." Jacob says Dr. Hopper is actually my least favorite character. And Alex is saying, I miss Dr. Hopper. I loved his same here. I don't know if he was talking about Sally or Jacob. But he's saying, I love the background story of Dr. Hopper and is the actor in any other shows. I'm not sure.
I prefer him as a cricket.
Yeah, I do too.
I do. Prefer him as a cricket.
What's so funny, when I watched Pinocchio all the time. Mm-hmm. I hated Jiminy Cricket. Dude told me, quit telling me what to do. Stop it.
Yes, that's exactly
I know that
it.
Tell me what to do. I hated it.
Yeah.
That's the point of his, because Pinocchio doesn't really have anybody to look up to, and that's kind of what Jiminy Cricket was meant to do.
I know, he was his conscience, but yeah, I hated it.
Yeah, looks like the actor who plays Dr. Hopper is currently in TNT's Murder in the First.
Mm-hmm. Sally Noble just said that in chat. He is on Murder in the First.
Yeah, he plays Inspector David Mulk. A philosophizing SFPD homicide inspector. So he's kind of playing the same kind of role. He's playing
he has that look.
Yeah, psychological, psychologist. But yeah. It's
his look. He's a ginger.
That has everything to do with it. Oh my goodness.
I had a psychology professor. He's definitely not a ginger.
No, I mean, John's not a ginger.
No.
No, I don't know. I've seen him on other things. He's one of those character actors.
Yeah. Jacob says, "I remember when I thought Regina was going to be the main villain of the entire show, but now we have Rumple. Fuck you, Rumple."
You know what? It was never Regina. Their whole goal was to make it seem like it was other people, and now it's Rumple, and it's always been Rumple.
It's always you may have not realized it because you loved Rumple. You
loved how crazy he was.
Yeah, it's not that you love to hate him. You actually just loved him. Mm-hmm. And now Clio hates to hate him. Yeah. She doesn't even love to hate him. She just hates to hate him.
I used to love to hate him. And then I loved him. And now I hate that I hate him.
No, you loved him. Then you loved that you hated him. And then you loved him. And then
it was a love-hate relationship.
And now you hate to hate him.
it's just it's because of all the things that he's done up to this like season 5. Like we had no backstory on Rumple other than he was Rumpelstiltskin in the very beginning. That he was all powerful. He was he could see in the future. He made deals and all that stuff. We knew the basis of the Rumpelstiltskin origins from other things. And then as the series moves on, you find out he's made this stupid mistake and this stupid decision, and he did this to this person, and it just it starts piling on. Then you realize that's what made him the person he is today. He's terrible.
Yeah. Yep. And then as far as the second episode, episode 3, I shouldn't say the second episode, the third episode, episode 3, we had the title card, we had the troll in the background, which really set the tone for the troll bridge. And
those trolls are ugly.
Side note, I really love the fact that the toll bridge in Storybrooke has the R in the middle. Like,
it's got the graffiti.
Written in marker. Yeah, I love it.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite.
It's the best thing ever in that town.
Those trolls reminded me something from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
I think that's what they were going for.
They were a bit orcish. Yeah, you're right.
They were.
A little bit orcish.
And I love that they got at least the main troll. I don't know for sure about the other 2, 3-ish, but the main one at least returns in the end of season 3 when they do the time travel. It's the same guy, I know that much. So they at least got that guy. I'm not sure about the other 2, but when they did
he get turned into a cockroach?
Yes, he did. But for the time travel, he wasn't.
Mm-hmm. It was before that.
Yeah.
It was before he was turned into a cockroach.
Correct. Mm-hmm. Which, funny enough, the trolls turned into cockroaches. Don't later on when we see other people turn into things through the same dust, they don't turn into cockroaches. They turn into other insects.
It depends on
snails or something.
It depends on whatever the character. I think it's just whatever you can defeat. It's just something that you can defeat.
I don't know, all three of them turned into cockroaches, so I don't know.
It might also be the bad fairy the dust comes from. Could do different things. Different bugs.
Yeah, maybe.
Because we don't know where, unless we do. Do we know where this dust came from? Which fairy it came from?
No.
Nope, not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. We find out later.
I don't remember, do you?
Well, then we're just gonna have to pay attention. I mean, we're gonna keep watching the show. We're just gonna have to pay attention.
That is true.
To be honest, I don't think we find out in season 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But this episode was more of the Snow Charming, kind of background love story of how the two of them met and everything, and Snow is portrayed as the thief. And she's robbing things, and we're introduced to Princess Abigail this episode, which she was never named.
What a bitch!
King Midas's daughter.
Yes.
I just could.
Can I just say that Snow White is more Robin Hood than Robin Hood ever was?
Yeah, that's very true.
True. So true.
Rest in peace, precious little soul. But no, she legitimately, and her little hovel, her hideout, her clothes, she reminded me of the BBC show Robin Hood.
Mm-hmm.
Because in that show, Maid Marian is like this vigilante. She dons like a cape and goes off and does shit.
I've only seen I think 2 seasons, or maybe not even that.
There are only 3 seasons.
I haven't finished it yet.
Yeah, there are only 3 seasons.
Yeah.
I have to say, it's so deliciously campy.
It is. It's hilarious.
I love it so
funny.
much. Yeah. And the actor who played Thorin is in it. He is the bad guy. It's fantastic.
Okay.
In eyeliner. It's eyeliner and leather pants. So yeah, so you won't need an incentive to go watch it.
Eyeliner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. His name is Guy.
The guy who plays Robin is Catholic neither, so
Yeah.
We'll get to see. Won't we get to see the Robin that was casted first?
I believe that's in season 2. I don't.
Yeah.
Oh, is it season 2?
You're right. We will.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll end up doing season 2 at some point, so that way we have all of the Once Upon a Time repertoire under our belts. So, well, because when we first started doing the As Seen on TV podcasts, season 3 was just starting. We did season 3, we did Wonderland, we did 4, 5. So we're going back. We're gonna do 1 and 2, wrap up Once Upon a Time, make sure we get it all done under our belts.
And we'll have a lot more, knowledge about. It'll be fresh in our minds when we go into season 6, so we don't have to worry about our inconsistencies when we're like talking about something. Did that happen? No. Was it this time? No. We're always doing that.
We're always going to have inconsistencies, no matter how recently we've watched whatever given season.
But we'll be better at it. We'll be better.
I mean, if we had a flow chart or something, that'd take up a whole room,
This is true.
It's just on one wall, a flow chart.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, they were just talking about this in chat too, that I think it's Jacob Salazar in chat, did a video about the family.
A family tree video.
Family tree video, yeah.
Yes.
God, that's one fucked up family tree that never branches.
Yeah. So I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but I will look into it after this, and I will put it in the description below, so you guys can watch it as well if you have not seen it yet.
We also got something else from Jacob, didn't
we? We do, and I will get to that in a minute.
Okay.
But what I was gonna say is with Abigail and Charming, when they're in the carriage ride, or I should say David at this point, or James.
James.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's James right now.
Kind of. We'll get to that in a second.
When he said James, I was like, huh? Oh yeah, right.
Right. He's playing as his twin right now. Yeah.
He's actually Prince. Well, he's not Prince, but he's David.
Mm-hmm. He is
who
David.
is pretending to be Prince James.
Mm-hmm.
So
he's not even. He's being forced to pretend to be.
Right.
It's true.
James.
Exactly.
Or his mom,
So he's forced into
do
the
it or
arranged.
I'll kill your mom.
Yeah, he's forced into the arranged marriage with Abigail, Princess Abigail.
She's thrilled.
Yeah, she's so excited about it. But during the journey that they were having to the castle for their engagement ceremony, they are on the high road beyond Midas's castle. So that kind of means that King Midas's castle is actually not very far from the royal castle.
Well, from his castle.
Yeah.
Who was his dad, anyways? Or not his dad, the king. What king was that?
I envision, the Enchanted Forest, laid out the way that kind of like the medieval Europe was, the UK, the way that it was laid out, like with Scotland, and like there was, the borders of kingdoms where it's not like that anymore, where they actually have, but much smaller pieces of land.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I saw a lot of that when I was in Ireland. So yeah, they still have the rock walls up that would had long rock walls that would basically encompass a whole area, and then each little area had rock walls, so it was like each little person in the village had their own little plot of land. It was really kind of interesting. So, but yeah, exactly. We don't know. I mean, I don't remember who. I mean, we know King Midas, and then we know Regina's castle, which was Snow's castle.
Her summer retreat or whatever.
Summer house, whatever. But what king was James's father?
What king?
The asshole king?
He's a jerk.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's like
I don't remember.
I don't remember, but I'm sure we'll learn.
I'm sure they mentioned it, but something that
it is revealed. It is revealed.
All right, so I have this picture here. It is a fan map that Jacob has drawn.
Dope.
See. Yes. Let me
Thanks,
get this
Jacob.
up. Yes, he sent this to me.
I can't see share screen right now, so I have to look at my.
Gotcha. He sent this to me on Twitter. So if you look over here, we have Agrabah, because we had asked for this
sideways.
last episode. So over here is Agrabah with the Well of Wonders. We have Wonderland just kind of down here. I think it's in its own like realm with Neverland down here. He's got his own realm. So we have here's Maleficent's fortress. This is where they traveled.
And the Dargan.
Zephyr
with the Dargan. We have Philip and Aurora's castle here. Lake Nostris is right here between Philip's castle, and this is Cinderella's castle. The Troll Bridge right here with Snow and David's castle. Rapunzel's Tower is not too far south
It really
of
isn't,
that.
no.
Yep. With Prince Eric's castle over here. Regina's castle there. Actually, I'm realizing I'm circling these things. And
they're not even showing up.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
This
is Regina's castle there. And then we have the gingerbread house here. The dwarf's cottage is right here with Grandma's house for Granny's place, not too far. The blue flower that we will get to eventually is there. This is David's cottage. So you could see David's cottage in to Snow and David's castle. It's a distance. And then this is Regina's castle, which is, I think they said, the summer home. It was originally the royal summer home. So the property for that was that, because Regina took over that.
So where would Midas's castle kind of play in there? I mean, Jacob, this is your map. I mean, where would it fit in there?
I would assume that Midas's castle, if we're gonna go,
well, he's not too far from the Troll Bridge and not too far from David's dad's or evil dad.
Yeah.
Well, where were they going?
They were going
to the
back
summer
roads.
Weren't they? Oh no, not there. Yeah, I don't know where they were going.
To where?
To Midas Castle. So it's
from where?
From so I'm guessing from like they're taking the back roads.
David's father's castle.
Yes. Yeah. No. Yes. One of the two. But they were taking a road around Regina's castle, like in that area. Yeah. So whatever castle we're talking about is near there. So I'm guessing. I don't know.
So
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. If Snow is still a vigilante, then Regina's castle is actually Snow and David's castle.
Right? Yeah, it's always been.
Because that's where she is when she's not exiled.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's not their
right.
That's
so
it would
have to be around there, and not the winter home. They would have to be passing around there, which is also closer to the Troll Bridge.
Yes. Oh, okay.
We have Rumple's castle here.
So those two castles, David's father's castle and Midas's castle, are both somewhere around Rapunzel's tower, I guess.
I'm guessing or by the lake, in kind of like in that area.
Yeah.
Kind of like spread out, because I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, we have Belle's castle over here. And this is the ogre's domain, and that's why you always see the ogre wars so much reference, because they're so close to each other over here. And then this is all frozen Arendelle.
I love Arendelle. It looks so cute.
It does.
Yeah. I love the ice castle.
Yeah, it looks great.
So thank you very much, Jacob, for submitting that.
He put
and the little
Oaken's
rose next
post.
to Belle's castle.
He put Oaken's trading post in there. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Jacob says Midas's castle is invisible.
That's my favorite.
That's why we can't see it. It's invisible on the map.
Gotcha.
Makes sense now.
Yep.
You would think it'd be some gold castle, because I'm pretty sure he touched it.
He touches a lot of things. I don't even want to know. I don't know where any of that.
That's why
I think he is made of gold.
Oh my god.
Well, he kind of pissed off. I think that's why she's all mad.
Yeah.
Well, we know that's why she's all mad.
Yeah.
And pissy and bitchy. It's because he, turned her lover into gold.
Yep. And then we had Dr. Whale, right? This is our introduction to Dr. Whale. And I just want to say David Anders. What's up with the hair this episode? I forgot how ridiculous. So now, going back and watching last season when David Anders did the guest star, and because I'm so used to seeing him now on the show iZombie, and I'm used to his hair being like that. So when Regina made the comment about, what the hell did you do to your hair? I was just like, was she just mentioning the fact that it was like bleached a little bit more, like it was lighter than it typically is?
There was big
difference. It was so drastically different. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
I didn't even make that connection, but now that you say it, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's great, and this is why I love things like this. Is going back now and watching this after.
The hell did you do to your hair?
It's so good.
I still, to this day, I want to find out who Nurse Ratched is. We just haven't figured that one out. And who else is still down there?
That will be the last mystery, the final mystery of the show.
I don't think they were extra, taken out of Storybrooke when they made the portal to go back to the Enchanted Forest. I think they're all still down there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, and
I don't think they let them out because a lot of those people don't know they're even down there.
It's true, and with Hyde coming in with this, I think it's not just the people he's bringing. We're gonna see some more of those people that's down in the basement. We're gonna see some more of those people come out.
I hope.
I'm really hoping, and I'm hoping like some of them ended up crossing over, to the Enchanted Forest at some point, and there's more of a connection to that, than just this other land, because it's the land of lost stories, whatever. They said they were exiled there, which means they came from somewhere else first. It's kind of like a refuge.
Yeah, they weren't exiled.
Some of them might have been exiled, but a lot of them were running away, and that's
like I said, it's a refuge.
Yeah, it's just a refuge.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting. In this episode, we had the whole John Doe, David kind of storyline going on. You had Henry coming in with the idea to read because that's Snow and Charming and all this, and Emma's like, no, you should go do it because then this will squash things once and for all. He'll believe that
that backfired.
It's all fake.
No.
Backfired, and it totally did the opposite of grounding Henry into reality. It sucked him in deeper. It sucked in Mary Margaret. Like, she's totally into this now.
Yeah.
Until Catherine Nolan appears, and it's just like, okay, well, there's Princess Abigail.
Yeah, if we're talking about feeding the delusion.
Yeah.
Okay. I just need to look her up for a second.
It's not that she fed it because, she did, but she bought it as well. She's now in.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
But I love the fact that Emma straight off the vet was asking Regina, when all of a sudden you found her, poof, these things that we're sitting at home going, how quinky dinky all of a sudden now the mayor finds his wife when years ago couldn't find him, and all of a sudden poof, she knows this and this person shows up, and it's like, now they don't give a single thought, but back then I was just like, yes, ask, well, how the flipping flapjacks are you coming up with these
the
people all of a
flipping
sudden?
Flapjacks. Yeah.
I censored myself there.
Side note, I know when they were filming this, because I remember watching interview long time ago, is actor who plays Charming, when he ran away from the hospital and they found him in the river. They filmed this in the winter.
Yeah.
And he was so cold in that river for filming.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They actually kept a hot tub nearby for him, so as soon as they'd cut, he'd jump in the hot tub, so he was nice and warm immediately. And then he'd go he'd sit in there, and then they'd go film, and he'd go lay down in the cold water.
Do you know what happens when you go from a hot tub into a cold?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, it stinks so bad. Oh, that sounds like a terrible idea.
Just thinking about it.
Yeah, I know.
That's that. Oh wow.
I would rather just a fire blanket.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. A fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just 20 pounds of metal blanket on top of you.
I mean, I think that works
metal,
when you're not wet though.
Like aluminum.
Tinfoil.
I guess, but
No, I know exactly what you mean. So, but yeah, and then it was, we see Emma.
I was just going to bring up that I love the way that Dr. Whale was on the date, and he was sitting there staring at Ruby the whole entire time.
Yeah, but I mean, who isn't staring at Ruby at this
point? I was staring at Ruby too.
Yeah, I know. It's like, okay.
and then
nice shorts.
Emma was like, oh, well, did he at least pay? And she's like, it's like, really, like, you paid? That was horrible.
I mean,
Dr. Whale should be ashamed of himself.
What's worse is she's got to go back as her volunteer job and go work with him again. Like, just
and she does it.
Yeah,
he's such a sleaze.
But it's like normal people would be like, just stop volunteering. But no, the point is you're not there for the doctor. You're not there for. You're helping the people. Like that's the whole point. So.
No, he was. I forgot how much of a sleaze he was.
Yeah,
he really was.
He's probably still a sleaze. We just don't see him sleazing around.
Yeah.
You don't see him sleazing around as much, but he's still a sleaze. He's a sleaze. Dr. Whale is a sleaze.
Emma decides she's gonna stay, but she gets kicked out. She can't live at Granny's diner anymore.
Because Reggie
it was Granny's
stupid
bed and breakfast
town ordinance that probably doesn't exist, but you know.
Oh, it definitely doesn't exist. Well, would the mayor just call and remind you about this?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Got to give me the key. So Mary Margaret offers, to give her the spare room. Have we ever seen the spare room, or is that just the loft upstairs?
That's the loft.
I think it's just the loft.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's an actual bedroom in that house too?
No.
Yeah.
There's a bedroom like under the loft, and then there's the loft.
There's a bed under the stairs, and then there's the loft.
There's the loft.
And then the kitchen.
So which one does Mary Margaret sleep in?
One down below.
Who knows?
She sleeps downstairs because when she was with had the baby and stuff like that, she was down in the.
They might have switched. I feel like if she was living there on her own, she would have been sleeping in the loft.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I don't know. Henry's bedroom's upstairs now, so.
Yeah. But like when you have a child, you don't want to be going up and down the stairs all the dang time, especially with as rickety as those stairs look like. So for her to move downstairs and stay downstairs makes sense.
Yeah.
But either way, there really isn't any rooms. It's just a loft. It's a loft apartment thing, studio loft apartment.
Right.
It's a cool. It's a fairly good sized place.
I mean, yeah, for one person, she's doing just fine.
Jacob, we still haven't seen Mary Margaret's bathroom.
Well, I mean,
you don't see any of the bathrooms. No one pees in Storybrooke.
No one pees ever.
No.
In most movies, nobody pees. No, and shows.
Yeah, most shows, no one pees.
Like, you don't see a bathroom on the
There's
TARDIS.
a lot of peeing in Jessica Jones. Like, you see them in the bathroom a lot in that show.
Yes, you do.
She's not just peeing. I mean, there's a lot of arfing into the toilet, praying to the porcelain throne.
It is mostly her bathroom, but it's not just her,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you guys have anything else for either of these episodes?
I don't know. It's just, I like how Mary Margaret, she was so enthused after she's like, he touched me. Oh my God, let's go back. Yeah. And then everybody's like, what?
He touched
like,
me.
Emma's just kind of like looking around like, why? Oh, okay, I'll follow.
Yeah. Well, yeah, she had that connection.
I love the scene when you have Snow and Charming walking through the woods and like Snow's like wobbling over that log like about to fall, and I'm like, right behind you, the ground is flat and you could just walk across it. I was like, why did you go across the log?
Reasons.
Just to make it look cool.
Of course.
Yeah. I thought it was when she was giving him CPR. No one else knew how to do CPR? I'm pretty sure Emma knew CPR. But anyways, she was giving him CPR. Then she goes to give him mouth to mouth, and then all of a sudden she starts kissing him.
Okay, for a second, Emma knows who Henry thinks they are.
Right.
And if she were to go give CPR to Charming or David at this point, I think, and Henry's right there, and Snow knows who, like, they don't know about Emma, but like, I think it'd just be super awkward, especially even for the viewers being like, "Hey, that's your dad."
Yeah,
you want to not?
I know it's CPR, but like, a lot of people, mouth to mouth things. get skeevy when it comes to that kind of stuff.
It would be like if they had on Star Wars have like a brother and sister make out or something like that, you know? It'd
Yeah,
be really
why
awkward.
that wouldn't happen. It's not like he wrote that plot point after the kiss had happened or anything like that. It's not like he was making it up as he went along. Or...
No.
But at that point, did we know that Leia and Luke were?
No.
No.
Lucas didn't even know. Lucas didn't even know. Sorry, that was my point. I was getting at. He didn't know.
Yeah, no, he didn't.
He hadn't written it yet.
Okay.
No, he hadn't. But like Brian said in chat, his wife feel it strange that the hospital has a random door that leads to the middle of the woods. I did find that a little strange. Just a little.
The whole town is really strange. But I mean,
into the woods.
Into the woods. Into the woods.
I love that Sleepy though is the security guard in there. You know.
Oh my god, my favorite.
Leroy just throws him under the bus. He's like, I ain't fucking losing my job over this shit.
You're not getting fired. You fucked up. But I mean, we can say, you know, Emma doesn't believe, and yes, she doesn't wholly believe. But as soon as she hears that, you know, Mary Margaret is supposedly Snow White, she's like, oh my god, you're my mom.
Right.
Yeah, you see her face.
You see it on her face, and even when it's brought up later, she's like, about her parents, she's like, depends who you ask, you know, like, there's that thing in the back of her mind, it's like, you might be my mother.
But, you know what?
Does she? I don't think she really believes it.
I don't think
no, but look at her face, like that
yeah.
look on her face, it's like there's a part of her that thinks it could be true.
There's a part of her that wants to believe.
Yeah, the illogical part where it's like, she's mother, maybe?
That's the reason why she became a Bill Bondsman, basically, was to find people, to find her parents, and now she might have possibly found them, but, you know, the situation is freaking nutso, but hey.
Right.
Why not? I mean, there's always that, like, I hope so, because, oh my gosh, I found them. Maybe.
It is a running gag, kind of think, on this show to have Sleepy guard things. Because this isn't the first time.
Yeah, no, it's not.
No.
Sleepy is his Storybrooke counterpart. Correct me if I'm wrong. The guy's name is Walter, right?
I think so.
Okay.
I think. Yes, Walter. Debuts in the 3rd episode of the 1st season. So this is our first look at Sleepy.
Mm-hmm.
As not, you know, his Storybrooke counterpart.
Yeah.
And he is the hospital security guard. But yeah, really weird just to have a forest just out in the middle of the hospital.
Yeah. Where's it go? The forest.
Oh, goodness.
Oh my god. Yeah, I thought that was weird. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Should lead to the guard part somewhere, but okay.
They always give Sleepy the most inappropriate jobs. You're setting him up for failure.
Well, I mean, if the hospital is on the edge of town, if there is a forest out back, and there happens to be a back door...
But I don't know. Why would you have a door going to a forest?
If you need a back door, it could be a fire exit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't just have a front door.
Did it say fire exit?
No, but
they don't have. I mean, it doesn't have to
but
be
not every
concrete.
exit. Not like a exit that can be used in case of a fire doesn't have to be designated as a fire exit. It could also be a regular exit.
For those people that just want to go to the forest.
I think the point was
somebody's gotta go smoke. You know?
Hey, there's that too.
Haven't they ever heard of Smokey the Bear? Only
and you know, you can smoke and you can make fires, but just be responsible about putting them out. That's what Smokey was all about. You can make a fire in the woods, just put it the fuck out.
Right. You drag and then you just fuck.
Right, I'm pretty sure those were his exact words.
I think the fact that it was a bear, the whole fact that it was a bear telling us that was creepy as fuck.
He had no shirt either. He was wearing jeans though.
Well, I mean, Donald Duck doesn't wear pants.
I know. I still find that weird. Well, Mickey Mouse doesn't wear anything but pants.
I mean, I'd rather just something where just pants, then no pants, like Donald Duck and stuff.
Well, also,
his girlfriend doesn't wear pants either.
Minnie wears a dress, but her dress is so short she doesn't wear pants still. And yeah,
it's
wears a little like the little puffy thing, petticoat. No, that's what they're called. The little puffy things under dresses.
Yeah,
petticoat.
Yeah.
Crinoline.
Cartoons are weird.
I don't think you want a fire exit that leads to a forest made of wood.
Probably not. That's like the worst place to go towards when something's on fire. I'm gonna go towards the woods.
Yeah.
All right, man. Listen, I'm not in charge of Storybrooke city planning here.
No, that's all Regina. That's why nothing makes sense.
Exactly.
Who is the fire department there? We've never seen the fire department. We've seen the police.
I would love to see the crafting of the town, like, from the spell. Like, did it just poof into existence, or was it, like, Regina's thought process being like, I want this here, and that there, and this, that, and just like, boop, 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 boop.
Have we ever seen a fire truck in Storybrooke?
I don't think so.
Do they have a fire department?
I don't know.
If they do,
if they do,
what Storybrooke character would be running the fire department?
I was gonna say they're run by the 7 dwarves. I don't know. The rest of them.
I personally would pick Gaston, but we know he's dead and stuff. So
no one fights fires like Gaston.
Exactly. It makes sense.
You just see him humming, whistling, singing to himself every time he puts out a fire.
Washing the fire truck.
God.
Bambi and Fox from
Fox. Why did you just put an awful visual of him in like a string bikini, like washing a fire truck for me?
I never said anything about a bikini. I never said anything about
Cleo's
a bikini.
gone.
Maybe
She's like, nope.
No.
Maybe
Hear
Gaston.
no evil, see no evil.
And like the suspenders and the
I'm not saying I want to see that. I said, why did you put that image into my head?
She did it. You did it yourself.
You're the one who thought of the bikini.
When I think of a car wash, I think of string bikinis.
I didn't say car wash.
Fire truck wash.
One kind of
same
car
thing.
wash. That involves string bikinis.
I don't know. Maybe like Bambi.
From all party members.
Yeah.
Even the people bringing their cars in have to be in bikinis. So cool.
We don't want to see Dom in a bikini.
No. Nope.
God, no.
That's not happening.
A banana hammock. A juice juice not.
Can we not?
No. Okay. No juice juice. Just a banana hammock.
You're the worst. You're literally the worst. I think that about wraps this up.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Next week we will be discussing episodes 4 and 5, The Price of Gold and That Still Small Voice. We will be diving a little bit into, I believe The Price of Gold is Rumple's backstory a little bit, and That Still Small Voice is, I don't...
Jiminy Cricket?
Maybe?
I think so.
It could be.
It could be.
Do you think it's a little bit about August too? No,
Oh,
it might be a
maybe.
Henry. It might be a Henry specific episode.
I don't think we have anything. No, I think it's too early for Henry episodes. I think it's probably Jiminy, if I had to remember correctly. Yeah. The Pinocchio
Wake me up
episodes
when we
don't
get
come
to the
later.
Mad Hatter.
Exactly. That's what I'm waiting for.
Oh, that's so
the one that I'm looking forward to is the Ruby episode. I cannot wait for that episode again.
When she kills her boyfriend?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
When she's actually the big bad wolf. That's my favorite episode.
Yeah,
ever.
that one's probably was my
boyfriend
favorite
Peter?
the first time I watched season 1.
It's my favorite episode ever of this show. Like, there's still not a better episode than that for me. But.
Poor Peter.
Yep.
R.I.P. Peter.
Nikki, where can the people find you?
They can find me on Twitter at LadyVenom24, LadyVenom24.
Excellent. Rachel, where can the people find you?
They can find me on Twitter at Savannah17.
Awesome. Clio, where can the people find you?
They can find me at Cleomoto on Twitter, Twitch, and Pinterest.
Mm-hmm.
With Bucky Barnes.
I see that. You can find me down below at Phenomedom, PHENOMEDOM.
Phenomedom.
Oh, Jacob's saying in chat that next episode is a Cinderella episode. So, yeah.
The Price of Gold? Yeah, sounds like it. Yeah.
That's going to be awesome. You can find us all on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, and right here on YouTube at /ASOTV podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows, movies, and games. Until next week, see you guys later.
Ciao.
Auf Wiedersehen. Mahalo.
Mahalo.